made the right people aware that this behavior is continued, I'm not going to stand for it. Let me look in the camera, okay, because I know we have a lot of fans at Team Santa Rosa that watch this TV show. I am not going to allow you to violate the open records law or the open meetings law, period, end of story. Okay? You can keep on with your games, you can keep on playing, you can keep on assaulting my character. You are not going to get away with it, and you might as well learn what the law is and quit playing games about it. You know, I'm tired of it.
Well, it's been 4 years, and it's been a brick wall. And it took, on your part and on Alan's part and on some other people's part, it just took aggressive pounding up against that wall. I mean, what irritates me is it's stuff that the average citizen would not want to do. They don't want the confrontation.
Most people would have given up a long time ago. And certainly I have the scars in my back to prove it, but that's okay. I'm a big boy with broad shoulders. You know, if they want to assault me and call me names and all this kind of stuff, fine. Accountable, transparent, government, period, end of story.
And I want to reiterate, the reason it's important is because the county, the Board of Commissioners, is routing public business and have been for years through Team Santa Rosa. The Pullum property purchase being the most recent visible example of that.
Right.
Routing it through Team Santa Rosa, where the public, there's no access, there's no way to follow what's going on until it just gets sprung on you.
That's right. And if it hadn't been for mining for emails, we would have never known all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
It very well, the citizens probably would have still been mad about the $3.1 million purchase, but now that they know all the background information on it, they're very upset about it, you know, and just, it just amazes me. Now, got to tell you again, you know, Pensacola News Journal, you stepped up to the plate on Sunday. Here's the editorial, ladies and gentlemen, the editorial on Sunday. Gandy should step down. And I'm going to read a little bit to you. We believe that if it looks like insider politics, quacks like insider politics, then the deal that moved Pete Gandy into this part-time job is just that. Insider, good old boy politics that long ago should have been swept from Santa Rosa County. For that reason, we believe the Team Santa Rosa Economic Development Council should take Gandy up on his offer to resign as the group's military affairs consultant. Team needs a fresh start. On Friday, the News Journal reported Gandy, former Chief Executive Officer of Santa Rosa Medical Center, helped draw up the job for the military consultant's position he now holds. Great work, if you can find it. This position, according to the Pensacola News Journal, this position received only 2 applicants, both of whom Gandy interviewed. The lack of applicants for such a position is startling, this being a military area filled with retirees who certainly would be interested in the position.
Well, and let's mention that a previous story, apparently somebody they interviewed, if I remember right, it was a team, suggested that they didn't want former enlisted people applying for those jobs. And I can tell you, having worked for the Army for many years, and certainly having recently come into contact with the Navy, that I'd say 9 times out of 10 you prefer enlisted if you want somebody who's going to go in there and work, to somebody from the officer corps.
And once again, there was a great deal of reaction on the blog, and I picked out one that I wanted to read to you folks. Pete Gandy is not the only one that needs to resign. Let's add the names of Ed Gray, Don Salter, and Cindy Anderson to this recommendation. In my opinion, this group was formed to do more than economic development, as they are up to their rear ends in trying to control the politics of Santa Rosa County at the taxpayers' expense. My hope is that when the state attorney convenes the grand jury, we will be rid of these individuals. If they had any character at all, they would resign and save the taxpayers a lot of money. That was written by Old Noel. So,
Old Noel knows his business.
Well, once again, strong words from the readers of that story, you know, and it just
Well, it's interesting how many people have come forward and are upset about this, I mean, I think this is too small of a town to get away with the stuff that's been going on over there and just blithely assume that people are not aware of it.
Right.
They
Well,
may not say anything like you have done and like we've done, but they're aware of it.
what we're seeing now, and this is certainly my belief as to why the newspaper is acting on it, the Pensacola News Journal writing these stories, is that there's been a great deal of heat put on. You know, we won't know how many emails Mr. Snyder might have received over this. How many other people that we may not even know who have raised concerns about
There
this.
wasn't a lot of heat coming from the local paper.
No, there wasn't a lot of heat from the
I didn't notice.
And since you mentioned the local paper,
I thought I would.
and of course we're talking about the Press Gazette, ladies and gentlemen.
It's still in publication.
Apparently it is. I want to read a little bit of their story from May the 12th. Team's Military Affairs Consultant under fire. My position as chairman and someone who sat on the committee is that we did nothing illegal or unethical, said Salter. I can tell you Pete Gandy was not our first choice, but those we interviewed either turned down the job or wanted more than we had budgeted. Well, now, I'm confused, because the area's largest circulated newspaper, who interviewed every single person that was involved with that story, said that they only received 2 applicants. Apparently a phantom applicant, which we've not seen one email about, has arrived on the scene. I just wonder how that happens.
Well, there's no telling how exhaustively that was researched. I wouldn't want to hazard a guess, but it's very interesting that the only person that newspaper seems to have interviewed directly after the fact was Commissioner Salter.
Right.
Who gets a lot of time in that newspaper,
Well,
generally anyway.
Yes, he does. Another section of the story. One of the main contentions of those who are complaining about the hire is an email obtained by team board member Alan Isaacson. Well, there's Alan digging around again.
He's not a board member, though. That's actually
inaccurate.
a factual
He is only a paying member of Team Santa Rosa. And you know, and at least the Press Gazette did put the email in here. It you know, didn't want to have too many resumes. It's buried in the military affairs, folks. Salter says it's just a doggone misunderstanding. Just a misunderstanding. Cindy did misspeak or misquote the board in her email. And he went on to say that we had no intention to bury or hide anything. Well, folks, I'll let you decide. When the email says we should bury this so nobody can find it, I don't know. I'll let you draw the conclusion. It sounds kind of like me they wanted to hide it. There was one other thing in here that I'm going to take strong exception to. And I believe it was put in here on purpose to make Alan Isaacson look bad. There's a little note in here. Attempted to contact Isaacson were unsuccessful. First of all, I would hope that the Press Gazette would learn how to use spell check, or maybe look at a little bit of things before you put it in the paper.
That's actually a grammar mistake.
But you know what? Just like I've told many people, Alan Isaacson is not a hard fellow to find. I know for a fact that the Press Gazette had his most current telephone number, and they could have called any number of people to get that phone number. And as a matter of fact, the writer of this story was standing beside Mr. Alan Isaacson at the Monday Team Santa Rosa meeting. So